The New York Football Giants have made a roster move. They are bringing in a veteran offensive lineman following the preseason game against the Detroit Lions this past Friday, where Corey Cunningham and Wyatt Davis did not play all that well and really hindered the offense's performance. And now they're bringing in some more competition into that position group. We're going to talk about that. And Joe Schoen, Giants general manager, he spoke about Xavier McKinney and a potential contract extension coming down the line. We're going to get into that in a second. But look, this is video number 2 of the day, and this is why you subscribe. Because when the Giants go out and make a move, we make a video. So go down right now, hit that big red sub button, and help us get to 31,000 subs on the channel. If you love the Giants and want free content every day, hit that thumbs up icon right now. The Giants are signing former 4th-round pick Julien Davenport. Davenport has been in the league since 2017. He's 28 years old, and he is a massive human being. 6'7", 315 pounds, and he's also a local kid, a New Jersey native. He's spent time in the NFL with a couple of teams. The Houston Texans, he spent 2 years with them, then spent some time with the Dolphins, the Colts, the Cardinals, as well as the Chicago Bears. And he has a lot of playing time under his belt. 60 career games played in the National Football League for Davenport. And he has 32 starts, and he had 4 starts for the Colts last year. And he has just been all right, I would say, throughout his career. He's never had a PFF grade over 72.3, and the best year he was graded out by PFF was 2020, but he only really played in 53 snaps that year. 2018, he played in 1,014 snaps, and PFF graded him at a 52.7 overall, 53.0 in the run blocking department, and 55 in the pass blocking department. He's given up 23 sacks in his 60 games played, 27 QB hits, 76 hurries, and 126 pressures. Safe to say there's a reason Julien Davenport was a free agent all the way up until August 15th. But the Giants, they thought they needed to add more players to this room, and they did so. So I want to ask this question before we talk more about Davenport, and we will get to Xavier McKinney in a second. What is your one-word reaction to the Giants signing Julien Davenport? That's going to be the pinned comment on today's video. So if you scroll down to the comment section, when you hit that YouTube ad break, let me know your one-word reaction. For me, when I got the push notification and I saw the G-Men were bringing Davenport to town, competition. And that's what you want to see, because competition brings the best out of people. And you want to have more experience and more bodies. And quite simply, to keep it really interesting, I would just say you want more competition in camp. The way that Wyatt Davis and Corey Cunningham really did not show up in that preseason game, it showed that the Giants are razor thin right now at that offensive tackle position, and that showed up versus Detroit. I mean, you look at this offensive line, and we know that Andrew Thomas is a stud, and Ben Bredesen can really do it all. John Michael Schmitz looked good in his first preseason game. Mark Lewinsky is okay, and Evan Neal has a lot to prove. Matt Peart was solid. Joshua Ezeudu left a lot to be desired. Marcus McKeithen still battling back from injuries. Then you saw Cunningham and Wyatt Davis got absolutely exposed versus the Detroit Lions. Poor Tommy DeVito couldn't do anything in the pocket. All I was asking for, all I was begging for, was for Tommy DeVito to have some time to cook back there in the pocket, and Davis and Cunningham literally ruined Friday night for me, Tommy DeVito, and you as a Giants fan. It was a boring game, and it was pressure after pressure, and it was scramble and escape after scramble and escape. Maybe Davenport can bring some more experience and some more skill and talent to this backup offensive tackle position. I do want to talk about this, though, because Tyree Phillips for the Giants last year played in a couple of football games, especially when Evan Neal was hurt, and he did all right for them, and he's the guy that I expected to be this swing tackle for the Giants. But right now he's hurt, and he's not playing, and the question I have to ask is Tyree Phillips more hurt than we know? Are the Giants adding more players at this position because the guy that they want to be that swing tackle is not available, and he may not be available when the season gets going. I'm a little bit worried about the depth at this offensive line. I'm honestly worried about every single player on this O-line besides Andrew Thomas and John Michael Schmitz. If you have 2 good offensive linemen, that's solid, but that still means you have 3 that are not living up to the standard, and I'm a little bit worried about that for the New York Giants. I want to ask you this question, though. What is your confidence level in this offensive line? Scale it from 1 to 10. 1 being you are not confident at all, 10 being you are confident and you think that they're going to be just fine. Let me know what you think down below. I also wanted to close out today's show talking about this. I saw this roll across the wire. Xavier McKinney and a possible contract extension. Could it be happening soon? Well, Joe Schoen spent some time on the Tiki and Tyranny show on WFAN and pretty much said, we're going to wait and get through the season before starting negotiations with Xavier McKinney. And there's probably a couple of reasons for that. And Joe Schoen, he went on to expand in some of those reasons. X is a leader. He was a captain last year. He had the unfortunate incident, but he is a young player with upside. We'll have to see where we are. We don't have a lot of cap space to do much more. I think our pockets are empty. But he's a guy who is important to us, that we'd like to be here long term. We'll see how it plays out through the season. If we can get something done down the road, he is somebody we'd like to have here. And it is an unfortunate situation for Xavier McKinney because I truly believe if the bye week incident that happened in Mexico last year did not happen, let's say it never happened, I think the Giants would be negotiating a contract extension with Xavier McKinney because, 1, he's a good football player, but 2, he's young, is going to get a lot better, has not reached the top of his game, and he is a foundational piece for this football team. When you select players, even though it was Dave Gettleman who made this selection, when you select guys in the top 50, like McKinney was, an early pick in the second round, you want to keep those guys on this team for a long time, but not just that, because he's a damn good football player, and we saw in that 2021 season, really the first time he played all 17 games, he was one of the best safeties in the National Football League. One of the only in the league to have 90-plus tackles, 10 pass breakups, and 5 interceptions. I remember that game against the Las Vegas Raiders when they came up to MetLife, and he put on a show, making play after play, was great in the run game, but also had that pick 6 and was just able to affect this game in a multitude of ways. The Mexico incident was a tragedy. It was unfortunate, but there are going to be repercussions for that because now you got to ask yourself if you're Joe Schoen is, can I trust this player to take advantage of, to take care of himself and his body and put the team first? The question is, though, when it comes to a McKinney extension, is how much money are the Giants willing to pay him? They already gave Dexter Lawrence a whole lot of money. They gave Andrew Thomas a whole lot of money. They gave Daniel Jones a whole lot of money. They're paying Darren Waller a whole lot of money. Saquon Barkley may get a contract extension next year. Leonard Williams makes a whole lot of money. There's a lot of people on this team that make a lot of money, and if you are a top 10 highest paid safety, there's a lot of cheddar coming your way. And I'm sure McKinney, Mr. X, wants to be a part of this list, but the question is he a top 10 safety in the NFL? I will let you decide as we bounce on out of here after breaking down the breaking news of Julien Davenport and this. Is X a top 10 safety in the NFL? Type Y for yes, type N for no. And remember, everybody, you can always give me a follow over on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. That was the first place you would have heard about the Giants signing Julien Davenport. So make sure you give me a follow over there.